Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you guys see us? we're just hoping that everything works out to plan. As you know, with live workshops, there's always that little fear that it's like, what if the technology doesn't work? So if you guys could see us, if you can give us a little like wave in the chat box, a little comment, that would be amazing.
Otherwise, we're just going to sit here and talk to each other. That'd be great.
Well, that would be nice. Okay, I actually have a second laptop set up so I can see that we are live. However, there is a delay. So we're just going to go on and everybody's going to have to catch up. Sound good, Kerida?
Sounds fantastic.
Okay, amazing. So welcome everyone to this workshop, Introduction to Essential Oils, with a focus on emotional healing and anxiety. We're so excited. This is the first workshop that I've ever co-hosted with anybody, and there's not a better person that I could have picked other than this woman. She is incredible. Her name is Kerida. She's a mindset coach. She is a wellness coach. She's a yoga teacher. And I'm going to tell you actually a little story about how we met. So Kerida and I, we facilitate personal development workshops together throughout Australia. So she's a facilitator, as am I. And before I met her, she's one of those people that everyone just speaks so highly about. Like they just said that she's an amazing person. She's such a big sweetheart. She's amazing at what she does. She like helps facilitate amazing transformations for people. And I'll admit there was like a little part of me that was like, who is this girl? Like, is she Wonder Woman? Like, who is she? And when I met her, within 5 minutes, I was like, she absolutely lives up to all of those expectations. And she's actually surpassed them because her and I have quickly become amazing friends. She is the biggest sweetheart. And she's honestly one of my favorite people to hang out with these days. So I'm excited to be sharing her with you for this hour. So welcome, Kerida, to the Andra Maria Wellness community.
Yay! Thank you, sweetie. I'm so excited to be here. It's so funny when you introduce me like that because I had such a similar experience hearing about you from the people that we work with jointly, going, oh, Andra just gets it. She's so amazing and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God. And there was a little part of me that almost wanted to not like you, but it's just impossible.
Yeah, I think we just like came together and we were like, yeah, let's just be friends. And I think we skipped the small talk stuff and we just went into like heart stuff right away.
Yeah.
So do you want to just tell everybody, I guess, because you introduced me to essential oils or doTERRA essential oils specifically, do you want to just tell me a little bit about like, or tell not me, but everybody else, you know, your journey with essential oils, why you love them and that kind of stuff?
Sure, I'd love to. I've always used essential oils, you know, like way back as a teenager, you know, with my little oil burner and stuff and burning whatever I had my hands on. It was often patchouli or something like that, nice and cliched. But about 3 years ago, a beautiful friend of mine invited me to a class she was holding about these other essential oils. And it just hit me as soon as I felt that, smelt that first bottle, I just felt different inside. I felt that there was something different about these oils. And at that workshop and then doing some further research of my own, I just realized that the quality of these oils is unsurpassed, and that's why they just work. So for me, I just started using them personally, and then it's just been this process where I can't help but talk about them because they're so amazing and they've had such an amazing effect in my own life that I want everyone to have them as well, basically. And so, yeah, I'm just super grateful to my friend who introduced me, Vanessa, and I'd love doing the same for others.
Totally. I'll share how you introduce. Sorry, I'm just going to go over to the chat box for a second. Everyone says, hi. Hey, beauty, I'm here. Hello, we are all here. Has it started already? I cannot see anything. Press play. Hopefully. Oh, gosh. 100 Gil. I just had to type that because otherwise she can't see us. Okay. So you introduced me to doTERRA essential oils. I was actually using a different brand of essential oils prior to you introducing me, but not for the kind of like home use that I'm using now. I use them in my clinic with my clients because, as people will see today, each essential oil has a different emotional property. So they help balance out the energy in the body and help, you know, facilitate that emotional healing within a person. So I would just use them for that simple purpose. I never, you know, put them on really. I never really, I definitely didn't know you could ingest them, which again, we're going to talk about later. And you always use them at the workshops that we do or the seminars that we work at. And you'd always be like, oh, are you tired? Like, you know, why don't you smell this or put a little bit of this behind your ears or stuff like that. And I remember smelling the peppermint oil and I was like, whoa, this is insane because this is so different than the one that I have at home. You could like this, don't quote me on this because this is just my opinion, but it just seems like it's a higher vibration. It just seems like it's so much more pure. And from there, I was like, okay, I need to get some oils of my own. Absolutely. And I did. And since then, it was kind of like you said, you just can't stop talking about them. And then, yeah, here we are today.
Now we're on Google.
Yeah, we're on Google Hangout and sharing them. And there's been lots of other benefits, which again, we could talk about throughout the workshop that I've experienced from using these oils. And now they've become like my go-to. And I say this like half jokingly, but when I was a kid, I used to always like want to be a little bit of a witch. And I feel like when I have these plant-based oils at home and I'm like, ooh, I have like, I just want to like smell a little bit of this. I feel like it's magical and it's become such a beautiful self-care routine for me as well.
Yeah, I just love it that I don't have to rely on chemical things anymore. It's like I literally the first thought now, because it's such a habit for me now, is that I go, oh, I've got something going on. I'm going to go and get my oil. Or I'm going to, if I don't know which one to use, I can look it up and it's so easy that I know I'm using something natural to support me, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's get into it. Tracy says, aha, thank you. So that means that she's found us. Yay! Okay, I'm going to switch over to the slides view. Let me just see. Is there anything else you want to say before we do that, Kerida?
No, I think I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So while I'm doing that, everybody, I just want you to take a moment or so, like 60 seconds, and just take a couple of deep breaths. And I just want you to tune into how it would feel for you to know that every time that you felt a little bit anxious or uneasy or you woke up unsettled, there was something 100% plant-based and natural that you could turn to that would just help soothe your nervous system and just give you a little bit of that. So I just want you to tune into that while I switch my screen over and make sure that that works as well. Probably close that. Okay. So Kerida, do you just see the slides now?
I see like your PowerPoint screen with the slides in it. So you just need to switch it to slideshow. Yeah.
Tell me if that's better because I have.
Not yet, but it might be the delay.
Come on.
Hang on. Looks like it might be trying to do something. Not yet, but hey, you know, this is fun.
Well, that's why I got everyone to do a little visualization because it says you are sharing and presenting to everyone.
You are, but I can just still see your PowerPoint like as the small box of the program, yeah, rather than full screen of the slide.
Okay.
So if you can, if you can flick your PowerPoint to full screen, then that should be fine.
I have, that's the thing.
Oh.
Let me just see. Sorry, everyone.
This is why we do essential oils and not technology.
I know. It should be working. Hold on. For all we know, it is. And then like everyone could see it and they're just like, oh my God, you guys like.
You guys are crazy. Now, I can definitely see your PowerPoint, but
okay, well,
it's the program box, not an actual full screen.
Okay, well, I see the full screen, but even if it's just the program box, I guess that will do because you could see what's in it, right? You could see what's in the presentation. Okay, we're going to just go with that. Okay. So thank goodness I have essential oils on my diffuser, so it keeps me calm. Let's just say that.
I'm just like, I'm just like going to reach for the frankincense and just take a risk.
Okay, Tracy says we could see it good. Okay, cool.
Okay,
so let's get started.
Thanks, Tracy.
So I might as well go to this to make sure that we are seeing the same stuff here. Okay.
Sweet.
So, Carita, do you want to just start by telling everyone like what essential oils are for those people that don't know the crux of it?
Sure. So essential oils are the natural extracts from plants. So if you took a little microscope up to a piece of plant, up to a leaf or a flower or fruit or something like that, and you magnified it multiple times, you'd see these tiny, tiny, weeny little sacs in the structure, which actually are the essential oil. And so I do have a biology background as well, so I get a little bit nerdy on that stuff. So I hope you guys like that.
I love that.
So those little sacs of oil, when you if you pick up a mint leaf or something and you rub it together, what you're actually doing is bursting those little sacs of oil, and that's why you can then smell the mint so strongly. And it's the same with all the other plants and oils, a eucalyptus leaf, whatever it is. Now, those oils are the plant's natural defense mechanism against predators, against molds, fungus, bacteria, things like that. And because our cells, are natural, just like plant cells, they can actually, those essential oils that are made to work with the plants can actually also interact with our body cells as well. And so they get basically, our cells have these little receptor sites on them, and the essential oils can actually go in and certain molecules within the oils can go in and dock and interact with our cells, which is how they then go and affect us physically, mentally, emotionally, things like that. So they actually, it's just so amazing that they can interact directly with our body. And the great thing about it is that our cells are actually so intelligent that they know which molecules, because an essential oil has thousands of different molecules in it. A pure essential oil does. Our cells are so intelligent that they know which molecules to pick. They know which molecules they need, and they just let those ones in. And it's actually kind of magic.
That's insane.
I know, isn't it? When I learned that, I was like, that is so cool. I'm even more in awe of my body right now. So it's actually, while the oils are magical, it's actually your body's innate wisdom that does the work, which is really, really cool.
That's really, really amazing. I mean, I think that's why plant-based medicine is so fascinating to me because of that. Okay. So let me just go here to the next slide. Anything else you want to say about that?
Well, now that I'm getting prompted by the slides. So obviously there's different ways we can extract the essential oils. So when it's saying steam distilled or cold pressed, so if you think about a citrus fruit, for example, like a lemon rind or whatever, you cut a lemon and you can get a little bit of that oil on your hand. So those tend to be cold pressed because you can literally just press out the oil. Steam distillation is where they use steam or some heating with the steam to actually burst the little bubbles of oil in the plant matter, so that it actually starts to separate, and then they use the steam carries them away, and then they separate the oil from the water. And so that's most of the other plants that you think of. And like I was saying, because our bodies are so cool and know what to do with the oils, they're actually really safe to use. They are very, very potent and powerful, so you actually do need to use them with caution. And my very, very first tip, if you're thinking about picking up a bottle of essential oils, is that less is more. They're so, so powerful, which we'll discuss as we go through, that less is more. So start with less, and if you need more, you can always add it in. But yeah, that's my top tip for using essential oils.
I think I've learned that the hard way of thinking I need more of things and then putting too much on and being like, okay, that was a bit much. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to talk about some of the essential oil uses. So with essential oils, yes, they're great for physical things like digestive issues, headaches, pain, as you'll see through the oils that we talk about, but they're also amazing for energy clearing. So cleansing like your chakras, your meridian system, removing negative energy from a space, especially if a space feels stuffy or if it doesn't feel like your own. And then my favorite, it's beautiful. They're beautiful for emotional healing. So like uplifting your mood, calming you down, soothing you, and giving you awareness of a little bit of the deeper stuff behind the physical stuff that you have going on. So again, this will all make sense as we go through the oils, but I just wanted to put that up there for you guys. And we're not going to spend too much time on this. Okay, I'm going to just try this one more time to see if that makes a difference. No, it's not. Okay, I keep trying to make it go full screen, but it's just not doing it. Okay, so this is the chakra system and your subtle energy body. So as you could see in this little cartoon lady, she's got her chakras right down the middle of her torso, and then she's got her layers of her auric field around. So each of one of us have this energetic body as well as our physical body. So when you're using essential oils, yes, it's not a matter like, yes, you put them on your skin, but it's not a matter of just putting them on your skin because it actually affects all these different energy systems in your body as well, which is fascinating. Okay. So essential oil uses. So there's different ways that you can use them. So you can use them aromatically. So you could diffuse them in the room like I have right now in a diffuser. And this is to cleanse the energy in the air and to purify the air. And of course, to balance your emotions as well. Because if you put one on, for example, for joy, you're going to feel more joy. You could put them on topically. So you could dilute it with a carrier oil, such as coconut oil, and then you could massage it over your body. Again, we're going to go more into this in a little bit. And then you could also take them internally. Now this, I will be completely honest. The first time I heard that, I saw someone putting lemon in their water and I think I nearly gagged. I was like, that is so weird. And why are you doing that? And that's again, because I was so naive to the quality of doTERRA oils and everything I had experienced in the past. I was like, I would never, ever put that within my body. So it took me a while to warm up to this concept. But to be honest, after I tried it for the first time with peppermint as a breath freshener, I was like, okay, yeah, I could totally see the benefit of this. And again, it's all plant-based, so it makes sense. And in terms of where to put it on your body, every time I tell somebody that I put essential oils on my body, they always ask me, where do you put them? So I have a little diagram there of a lady and she has her chakras glowing. So your chakra energy centers, for those of you that don't know, they're all responsible for different physical parts of your body, but also different emotional parts of yourself. So for example, the throat chakra, that's responsible for expression and helping you speak your mind. So if my throat's feeling clogged one day, or I'm feeling like I can't really say what's on my mind and I can't speak my truth, then I'll turn to an oil and I'll put it directly on my throat. And that also helps balance that energy center. You also have different meridian systems in your body, which again, we're not going to get into that, but it's just helps to know that, you know, for example, you have different acupuncture points all over your ears. Or at the bottom of, sorry, not at the bottom of your feet, around your feet. So if you put the oils in those areas, again, it's going to help balance the energy in those meridians as well. So my advice in terms of where to put them on topically, it's kind of wherever you intuitively feel like. That's kind of the rule of thumb. Would you say that's what you would think too, Carita?
I think for most things, yeah. So particularly with emotional aspects like that,
yeah,
you kind of go intuitively, like with what's going on for you, then definitely I just put them wherever I feel. The other thing that's really, really great about certain areas of the body, so like behind the ears, on the wrists, things like that, is, you know, if you have a look at your wrist, you can see arteries and veins really close to the surface, depending on the thickness of your skin, but they're right close to the surface. So you can actually get the essential oils into your system very, very quickly on places like that. So even like backs of the knees, back of the neck is a really great way to access the brain stem. So when you're wanting either a physical response, so the soles of the feet is a great place for a physical response, particularly for immune support, but an emotional or mental response as well. If you think about how quickly can this oil actually get into my system, or is it just a perfume or something like that that's kind of good for me like that, then you start to think about, oh, okay, those areas where the oils can really access the body very quickly are good as well.
That's super interesting as well, because like when I used to wear perfume, I would always put it on my wrists. And if you're telling me that that's one of the fastest way to absorb the oils in your body, I can only imagine what my body was thinking, where I would put on like heavy duty perfume.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Don't be hard on yourself, sweetheart.
I learn new things every day. Okay. Essential oil safety. Over to you, Carita.
I've been doing this a little bit longer. So look, like I touched on earlier, the oils are actually very safe and they're effective. They can be quite gentle, but you still do need to take care because they are very powerful. So any sensitive places, so your ears, your eyes, your nose, your lips, and if you want to think about other sensitive parts of your body, you want to try and avoid getting the oils in those at all costs, ideally. If you do happen to get some oil in your eye or in your nose or something like that, dilute it with a carrier oil. So grab some olive oil, some almond oil, some fractionated coconut oil, whatever you can get your hands on that's a carrier oil, and gently like dab that around the area rather than water, because water will actually just spread the essential oil out, will make it hurt. Essentially. So using a carrier oil to dilute it out and to help remove that essential oil. So, I mean, if you think about it, if you have a headache or something like that, the temples is an amazing place to put the oils, but make sure you put them right back in the hairline, things like that, not too close to the eyes, just in case they kind of creep down the skin and into the eye area. They can be quite sensitive. So if you do know that you have sensitive skin, it's not something that I've ever really had to contend with in my life. So I kind of just put the oils anywhere, but I do know people who do have a lot of skin sensitivity. The soles of the feet is a great place to patch test the oils to start with. So that's a really, really good thing, and diluting them more heavily as well, and taking care with some of what we would call the hotter oils or the stronger oils, which we'll talk about as we go through. So yeah, the oils are very safe, but they do need to be used with care.
Okay.
Yeah, let's move on. Next one.
Click on.
My favorite. So what is it about doTERRA that makes them awesome? There's so many things, basically. So obviously one of them that we've touched on is the purity of the oils. So I'm going to go more into that in the next couple of slides. But doTERRA basically are safe. They're safe, effective, and affordable. Yeah, the potency of the oils, like I said, means you don't need to use much at a time. So as you can see now, thanks, Andra. Moving on. There's nothing artificial in a bottle of doTERRA oil. So if you think about it, one of the things that questions I get a lot from people is, oh, but I can go to the chemist and buy this bottle of whatever. There's actually no regulation that says that sort of, I've lost my words. There's no regulation around what it actually says on a bottle of oil. So they can say 100% pure, but actually be up to 98% synthetic fillers. Whereas with doTERRA, like I said earlier, I've done my research and I've looked into it and I've been using the oils for long enough, and you can smell the difference when you open a bottle of doTERRA lavender versus another lavender. And you just,
oh my God, totally.
Hang on a minute, something different is going on here. So that's why it's so important to have pure oils. And every batch of doTERRA oil is tested. I think they do about 9 different tests to make sure that there's no synthetics, there's no pesticide residues, there's no chemicals, nothing like that. And they have standards. So one of the things that I absolutely love about doTERRA is that if a batch of oil that they produce doesn't meet those standards, they won't sell it. So in my doTERRA journey, there have been times where a certain oil, it's very rare, but where a particular oil hasn't been available for a period of time until the next crop's grown through, because they wouldn't sell a bottle of oil that didn't meet their standards. And I just love that.
That's like integrity. That's who you want to buy from.
Yeah. And to me, that's why I do. That's why I trust it, and that's why I do. So as you can see on this little pie chart, as I mentioned, most oils that you can go and buy off the shelf are actually going to be mostly synthetic filler, and that makes up the majority of the essential oil market. Then we've got things like, you can see the little green piece of the pie, the food grade. So that's the things that you find in your toothpaste, in little flavorings and stuff like that. The things that the administrators of that deem that it's safe for you to eat, may or may not be. Therapeutic grade makes up the next grade, which might be what, if you went and saw a naturopath, they might suggest certain brands for you. But basically, like I said before, there was no regulation in the market. There still is none. So doTERRA saw a need to go, well, hang on a minute, even within the therapeutic grade, there's this spectrum of quality that you can get. You don't really know what you're getting. Yes, it's better than the food grade. Yes, it's better than the synthetic grade, but you still don't actually know. So doTERRA created the certified pure therapeutic grade, which basically means that the oil has passed every single test that they've put it through. So that's how you know, like, I know that when I take the lid off the bottle of my lavender or my peppermint, that it's actually going to work. That for me gives me a security in that. I know that it's passed all the tests, and every time I go to use that oil, it's the best quality, and it's the quality that I need it to be.
I think that makes sense, because even when I was using like geranium, which a lot of people have heard me talk about because it's one of my favorites, I was using it in a different brand, and I never felt anything different. It was just kind of like my knowledge, like I knew it in my head. It was that knowledge of, yeah, it's an essential oil and it's good to balance your energy and all that stuff. But when I use the doTERRA one, I'm like, hold on a sec, I like actually feel something different in my body.
Yeah, totally. And that's why I say, for me, like, smelling the lavender, giving people the lavender test is it's the surefire way of letting people know that this is different, because everyone knows lavender, and when you smell the doTERRA lavender, it is just outstanding, the purity of it. So the next slide would be perfect to talk about that. So the purity of it comes from the testing. But the other thing that, in my biology nerdness, really works for me with doTERRA, and the reason so for example, that lavender smells so pure, is because doTERRA sources their oils where they're native. So the lavender is sourced from France, the lemons are from Sicily, the tea tree comes from Australia. So the oils are sourced from all over the world globally. And where those oils are sourced from developing countries, doTERRA has a program called co-impact sourcing, which basically means that they don't work with big growers with 1,000-acre farms and things like that just mass produce everything. In those smaller communities where the way of life is more traditional, doTERRA actually works with individual growers to helps them form cooperatives to produce enough quantity of product, of raw plant material for doTERRA to make the oils they need. So the money that they pay actually goes straight to the growers. So those local people get a better price. They also implement on-the-ground projects to support the community, and it depends on the community and what their needs are as to what those projects are. So, for example, I know in Haiti, where they grow the vetiver, they've installed wells which ensure consistent water supply for these remote communities. They have all different programs all around the world with different communities, which basically provide them what they need, and I just absolutely love that. And they also, so for me, it's like, well, these people who are growing the plants that are producing the oils that I love are happier. Like, they're more nurturing their crops. So one of the things that they do in that co-impact sourcing is to actually ensure that rather than just getting paid at harvest, in places where it's necessary, the farmers are actually getting a small amount of pay year round So they've got a consistent income as well. So they're not just paying them at harvest time. So what they're doing is ensuring that the crops are harvested when it's actually correct to harvest the crops for the best quality oil, rather than just when the farmer needs the money.
Right. Okay.
So I love all of that stuff about doTERRA. The commitment to ethically sourcing the oils and to operating with integrity with the growers, just, it makes my heart sing every time I think about it. It's
It
so
makes
cool.
me want to go down there and be like, can I come on a trip?
Well, they do. Oh my gosh, I haven't even told you this, and they do have trips.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I was totally joking.
No, they do. So that's where the Healing Hands comes in. So the other thing that doTERRA does is has an organisation called Healing Hands, which Andra, look, guys, I know this seems really funny, but Andra didn't even know about this. They have a program called Healing Hands, which is where both doTERRA and wellness advocates can actually choose to donate funds to these projects that are just like soul food projects kind of thing. And every dollar that is donated goes straight to the project. doTERRA doesn't take a cent. They put it all on the ground. And there are opportunities at times to actually go and help on these projects. So they've built schools in Nepal. They've built an orphanage in Bulgaria that was in a place that was needed it for street kids. They've got this program called Days for Girls, which provides reusable sanitary items for girls in developing countries so that they can keep going to school when they have their periods. They, this is in countries where they would normally be cast out for the however many days that they're bleeding, because they have no access to sanitary items to actually enable them to stay in the community during that time of the month. So they're giving them things that they can actually use so that they can keep getting educated. It's absolutely amazing, and it's absolutely outstanding. I love the work that they do.
I love that kind of stuff too. I love that you could go on trips. I'm gonna actually Google that when we get off.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into some of the oils, shall we?
Perfect.
Okay, so lemon. So just for everyone watching, we're just going to talk to you guys about some of our favorite oils and some of the more popular oils that it's kind of like the oils that you just need to have in your household because they have so many different uses, which you'll see in just a moment. So lemon is the oil of inspiration. So you'll see that with each oil, there's emotional properties and then there's also physical properties as well. So physical things that you can use them for. So lemon's the oil of inspiration. This is honestly the most magnificent oil when you feel uninspired, stuck, bored in your life. If I wake up and I'm dreading the day, I will go straight to my lemon and take a big whiff of it and put it on as well. It helps restore your confidence, and it also is beautiful and amazing for concentration and mental focus. And that's obviously amazing when you're needing to learn something new or absorb new information. But for me, the primary use of lemon is to re-inspire and to kind of ignite that feeling of I want to say feeling of purpose, feeling of inspiration. And then physically, I also put a drop in my water. This is where Carita said less is probably better. This is where I learned the hard way because I put way too many drops in my water. And then I was like, oh God, I don't think that was a good idea. So since then, I only put one drop in my water and that's it. And it's also great to cleanse the energy in a room, obviously elevate your mood and to soothe your sore throat.
So just while we're on here, you'll see as we go through, I just want to point out down the bottom, you'll see those little circles with A, T, I. So A is aromatic. So you can breathe it in, put it in your diffuser. You can put a drop in the palm of your hand, breathe it in, create your own mini diffuser with your hands. Topical is you can apply it on the skin, and I is for ingesting, so you can actually take it internally, or I is for internal. And then the little N in the blue circle is, it stands for neat, which means that doTERRA says, it's an oil that you can safely apply neat on the skin. I still think lemon is a little bit, I would rarely apply lemon neat on my skin for any reason. I've never really had a reason to do it. The only one I can think of right now is I went to a wedding on the weekend and I actually put on nail polish, and I never ever wear nail polish. So I'm going to remove it because I'm really bad at keeping it neat. So it's all chipped already. So I'm actually going to get out the lemon oil after this webinar and remove the nail polish. That will be neat.
You use lemon oil to remove your nail polish?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
This is why I need to co-host these things, because I'm like, what? I did not know that.
All my little tidbits come out. But I also use it in cleaning. So it's a great glass cleaner. So just some lemon, vinegar, and a bit of water in a spray bottle. Perfect glass cleaner.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, peppermint is also one of my favorite oils. This is probably the oil that kind of converted me to doTERRA, as I was saying before. It is amazing for mental focus. In the seminars that Karen and I work at, we have to focus on certain days for like 12, 13 hours straight. And I will say that like halfway through the day, I will put some peppermint behind my ears and then the back of my neck, and it works a charm. I wake up like it's better than coffee. Coffee actually makes me anxious, and I freshen up within 60 seconds and I'm alert and on point, which is amazing. And the other thing that I mentioned before is that I use it as a breath freshener as well. A lot of mints and gums and stuff like that have aspartame in it. So that's like basically poison. So I've tried to cut that completely out of my life, and this peppermint has been just the best thing to replace that. And anything else you want to add to peppermint, Kerida?
I love peppermint. I just think it's the absolute best thing. I think you've said everything about it there. The only one I would point out is you can see that peppermint's got that little purple S symbol as a difference from the lemon, which means that can be a bit sensitive. So you want to make sure that you dilute that if you're going to use it on the skin, or particularly on any sensitive places. If I was just putting it on the back of my neck, I might not worry. But yeah, if you're going to use it in any sensitive places, I'd definitely dilute it.
Okay. Good to know. I don't dilute my peppermint. Okay, so next up is lavender. So for those of you who tuned in because of anxiety and nervousness, I will say lavender is amazing. So I want to tell you a little story about lavender, because this is another oil that I bought from doTERRA. Again, just thinking that I want to smell like lavender because it's a beautiful scent. And once I started using it, I found that my body just completely calmed down and relaxed. Like it was like, you know, when you step into a hot bath and your body just like sinks. It was kind of like that, but it was very, very quick. So once I would put it on, within 60 seconds, I would feel that shift. And I remember even seeing Kerida after using lavender for, I think, like a week straight. And she said, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm just so calm." And I said, "I'm not used to being this calm. Like I'm almost anxious because like I feel like I should be anxious because I'm not anxious." And I just didn't realize that this is like, is this how it feels to be a normal person? Because I'm like, I just feel so calm, so relaxed. And upon looking up lavender for this presentation and one of my resources, I realized that it's the oil of communication, which addresses deep fears of being seen and heard, and addresses the fear of rejection that paralyzes your true voice. Like that, like when I read that, I was like, I have that in my back pocket. So whenever I feel like that, I will definitely turn to this little bottle of oil and take a big whiff. And it just made me feel even more comforted. And the other thing that I want to say is it's great for bedtime. Again, it's very relaxing, but in small doses. Again, I learned this the hard way because when I was on my obsession with lavender, I put too much on and then I would stay awake till 2 in the morning. And then I learned that if you use lavender in high doses, it actually is a stimulant. So a little bit goes a long way. And I normally just put this at the bottom of my feet now, if anything, before bed. And I use something more gentle to help me relax and sleep.
I love
Anything else you want to add about that?
No, I love it. I do remember that day that you told me. Andra literally came up to me and she goes, "I'm way too calm." I think it's the lavender.
Yeah, you said you're like, "I think lavender's chilling you out." And that's when it hit me and I was like, whoa, totally. And I'm like, I think I need to take a little bit of a break because I think I actually like a little bit of stress. I operate better. So yeah, I laid off of that for a bit. Okay. Kerida's going to talk about frankincense because I'm still warming up to this oil and she loves this oil.
Yeah, I do love frankincense. So on the emotional front, so frankincense is known as the oil of truth, and for me, I find that frankincense just cuts through. If I'm feeling unclear, or I'm, sometimes I tell myself a story and I'm trying to delude myself into believing some thought or whatever, and that something is a particular way. I actually just, you saw me before, I opened my little bottle of frankincense, took a big whiff, and it's immediately calming and grounding. I'll often just put a little dab on my third eye. So if we're talking about the chakra system, it's accessing that inner vision and inner sight, accessing that truth, and accessing, like it says here, connection to spirit. It's great for meditation. And frankincense for me is like, well, we kind of call it Frankie Boy, affectionately, in the doTERRA world. It's like being wrapped up in a great big hug. So it's a very grounding oil. And so if I'm feeling, agitated, isolated, alone, it's like, get some Frankie out, get wrapped up in a big hug and just feel really soothed and held. Frankincense is amazing for me like that. Do we have another slide on frankincense, Andra? Yeah.
I do. I'll just say, because people might be wondering why I said I'm warming up to using it.
Yeah.
There's a few different reasons. So with the oils, you'll find that sometimes the oil that you need is the oil you're not really drawn to because of its strong emotional properties. So for example, for me, I have scoliosis, which is just a curvature of the spine. And out of curiosity, one day I looked up which oil can support with the emotional healing side of the scoliosis. And of course it was frankincense. And of course that's the oil that I'm normally like, no, I'm good. So I feel like it's definitely on my radar, and it's something that I'm going to start incorporating really, really soon, but it's just taking me a while to warm up. But it will be interesting for all of you listening as well, because there's oils that you're going to be really drawn to, and there's going to be oils that you're like, I can't right now. I just can't even smell it.
And it's worth just waiting until it's the right time and trusting your intuition on that, because I do get that a lot, and it's with all sorts of different oils, and everyone's a little bit different. It would be interesting to look at maybe the emotional aspect of, for you personally, Andra. I don't know if you already know, but where the scoliosis is in the spine and what the truth behind that is, right? Because frankincense it's not like a massive tall tree, but it is a big, strong, grounded tree. And if you think about the spine, the spine is your anchor, it is your trunk. So there might be something in that aversion to frankincense about actually working through whatever it is that's causing that scoliosis, And as we both know, we do our work and we see what we're ready to see when we're ready to see it. So there's no mistakes on timing. The thing that I love about frankincense, okay, so amazing, this is a little sidetrack, amazing emotionally and energetically, but also physically, frankincense is actually a natural anti-inflammatory. So it supports the body's anti-inflammatory response. So it's really, really good for the skin. If you have any discolorations or anything in certain areas, it really helps to even out skin tone. It's very gentle and soothing on any cuts or abrasions, which lavender is as well. And frankincense, like I said, when in doubt, get frankincense out. Like that's what we say. I say Frankie, but anyway. I will even, if I'm feeling quite anxious or unsettled, I'll even put a drop of frankincense under my tongue. And I find it just calms me right down very, very quickly. I know of a lot of people having amazing results with a lot of physical issues with frankincense, because it is, like it says there, it's the Swiss Army knife of oils. It does everything. Yeah,
that's exactly why I want some in my life.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time.
On Guard. Yes, I love On Guard. How I love On Guard. This is, natural immune defense, because it's got all those beautiful oils you can see listed down the bottom. So wild orange, cloves, cinnamon, eucalyptus and rosemary. Now, On Guard to me is like chai in a bottle. So it's just
such a good way to describe it. I was going to ask you on this call, how would you describe On Guard? Because it is the best smelling, like comforting, like it reminds me of almost Christmas.
Yeah, it's so delicious. I just absolutely love it because it's so delicious. but it's amazing for your immune system. So I use On Guard quite regularly in a few different ways. If I'm needing some really immediate immune support, I will put some On Guard in a bit of honey and take that internally. I'll have it in a roller bottle and rub it on my feet, maybe over my throat if I've got a sore, itchy throat. And like it says, energetically, it's also about protection. So physically, it protects your immune system, supports your immune system, but energetically, it's very protective. So I've had times where I've had to go and go into meetings with people who I've had negative experiences with before, and I'm agitated about going into the meeting with them, for example. So I've actually used On Guard a little bit on the heart, and even I just rub the oils neat on my clothes or in my hair to sort of use them, have them around me. I've had that there and sort of set the intention that it's a protective, energetic protection for me during that interaction with this person that I find challenging. And it's the way it worked was just amazing. Like, it was just so straightforward. So yeah, nothing was there. It was like nothing could stick. And it was just insanely good to have that feeling and walk away from this situation where I was nervous about it to being like, oh, wow, that I actually really just, confidently stood my ground and held my space and was true to me. And it felt really, really amazing.
That's actually really good to know, because a lot of the times with my clients, like, things will come up in terms of like people draining their energy, or they take on other people's energy. And I always get them to do like a little visualization in the morning to help them protect their energy. So this is like, this is one of the oils that I probably use the most, because I'm almost finished my first bottle. But yeah, I think this is like just a good oil to have for that, as well as a double up.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a must have in my book.
Breathe, easier.
So this is a beautiful oil. It's because doTERRA is an international company, that some of the oils are named different things in different markets. So in America, this one's Breathe. In Australia, it's Easy Air, and it's for respiratory support. So you can see the beautiful oils down there: the laurel leaf, peppermint, eucalyptus, tea tree, or melaleuca, lemon, and ravensara. Now, physically, if you're congested or people who have respiratory issues, this is a really amazing oil to diffuse. You can also dilute it and rub it on the chest to help open the airways. So what it actually does is, these oils that you can see in there, they actually help the blood vessels dilate, and so it literally helps you breathe easier. Great places around the sinuses if you're a bit congested, just not too close to the eyes. It can be a bit sensitive. But if you're thinking emotionally, by physically opening the airways, it helps you to take a nice deep breath. So if you're feeling suffocated by sadness, or suffocated, or like you just can't breathe fully for some emotional reason, this is a beautiful, beautiful oil to use. You wouldn't necessarily think of going to use it because it's got a lot of really strong sort of uplifting oils in it, but it's actually very, very soothing to use in times of grief and things like that, where actually taking a nice deep breath is what you need, because this oil actually supports you to do that. So,
totally.
Yeah.
I think like 4 or 5 years ago, when my anxiety was probably the worst it's ever been. I think you've said all that anyway. I had trouble breathing, and that, like, an oil like this, like when I see Breathe, I'm like, if you were only in my life then, I think it would have made my life so much easier.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That's okay.
So if any of you have that kind of anxiety where you have trouble catching your breath, where you have panic attacks, I think that this would be a really good oil. Would you agree, Kerda?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It would be, yeah. I actually carry it in a little roller bottle in my purse during winter, particularly because I sometimes get a little bit stuffy, and I use it quite a lot like that. Or if I know, like I said, I've got something which is going to stress me out, I'll use it. Yeah.
Okay. Digestion.
Oh, my love for this oil is out of this world. I use this oil pretty much every day. I would say it would be a rare day that I don't use it. So yeah, digesting your food. So if you have any digestive issues, like right from, you know, quite serious issues, but through to more like myself, I like to overindulge and then I feel really uncomfortable. Digestin is the most amazing oil for that. So it's got a blend of oils that support your digestive system. It's got a blend of warming and cooling oils. And like I mentioned before, because your body innately knows what to do, it picks the oils that you need out of that blend, and it will just, you know, process out anything that you don't need, which is what I love about the blends, because you could pick any of these single oils and use them for your digestive support, and that would be absolutely fine as well. But you don't have to think with this oil. I just pick it up and I go, my body's going to take what it needs from this, and every time it works. So I will sip it in a water bottle throughout the day just for general maintenance, because I like the flavour. It's got the anise and the ginger in there and the fennel, so it's quite, I like those flavours. I also have it in a roller bottle. I'll rub it around my belly and give it a good massage in if I'm feeling discomfort in my digestive system, in my intestines. It's really, really good for that. And again, much like the Easy Air, much like the On Guard, it actually helps emotionally to digest life's experiences. It's about processing and, you know, moving through whatever the stuff it is that you need to move through. So it's, yeah, digesting that information and digesting all of these things that are going on and actually moving forward in your life. So it's a super cool oil that way as well.
Yeah, because in Chinese medicine, your stomach meridian's all about, you know, overthinking and being overwhelmed and disgust. Like those are the kind of emotions that come up. And really, if you think of it that way, an oil like this is perfect for that, because it's all the mind. It's the mind being overwhelmed and over-energized, and there's just too much coming in, and you're being indecisive. So again, this is another example of how you can support yourself emotionally as well as physically. And I'm have no doubt that when you have all this stuff going on, you know, the overthinking, overwhelm, and all that stuff, that's where you start getting bloated, or that's where you start getting the other stuff.
I totally agree. Yeah.
I won't be so explicit, but yeah. And I asked, actually, I will say one thing. I did ask Kara when I first heard about this oil, like, can you use it if you're constipated? Can you use it if you have diarrhea? Because, you know, most like pharmaceutical products, it's like you take this if you're this, if you take this, if you're constipated, this and that. So with this one, she was like, yeah, you could use for both. And I was like, oh, well, that just solves a whole lot of stuff and saves me a whole lot of money.
Absolutely, because again, that's your body's innate wisdom and taking what it needs from the blend.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Mood management kit. I have to sing to this one because I'm obsessed with it. I've talked about this one before on my Facebook. So the mood management kit includes 4 essential oils, and they're all blends. So you have balance, which is your grounding blend. You have elevation, which is your joyful blend. You have, it's called serenity in the US, but it's called lavender peace in Australia, which is your calming blend. And then you have citrus bliss, which is your invigorating blend, which is actually what I have on right now. This is my most recent purchase from doTERRA, and since I got it, I've just been completely obsessed with them. Like, I'm almost halfway through my balance oil, and yeah, like I really like, I feel like I could just say amazing things about so many of these oils, and it's and I say the same thing over and over, but they're really, really beautiful for essentially supporting your mood. I put most of these oils on my heart or solar plexus chakra. So physically that's over my chest or my upper tummy or at the soles of my feet. So we're going to just go into 2 of the oils out of this kit, because again, we've talked about so many oils already. So we'll just highlight my personal favorites, which is the grounding blend. Now, this is amazing if you're the type of person that likes to move really fast, that likes to overthink things again, that's in your mind, your mind's really busy, and you just need settling and you need to feel grounded. And when I first got this oil, I took a whiff of it and I was like, I don't know if it's for me. And then the second day I was like, oh no, this is definitely for me. And then I've used it every single day since then. And it's been like almost 3 weeks now.
Yeah, it lives in my handbag.
It's like one of those things. I was thinking about it yesterday and I was like, I don't think I ever want to live my life without this oil in it. Like it's
not
just
worth it.
It's a good companion. And the second one that I want to mention is that lavender piece, again, because this is a workshop focused on that anxiety. This is great for calming your body. This is actually what I use every single night before I go to bed now. I diffuse it in the bedroom, and I put it on topically as well with some coconut oil. It helps generate more compassion and love for a situation. If you're feeling like you have way too high expectations of yourself and others, this is a great oil. And let's be real, guys, in today's society, we all have way too high expectations of ourselves and others.
You can see in there, I have a lot of friends who have little kids, and these two oils, the balance and the lavender piece, are actually like must-haves for them. And the lavender piece is the bedtime oil for most of those guys as well. So Andra, you're naturally doing it. You can see in there the vetiver. That's one I mentioned before. That's a really, really amazing oil for winding down to sleep. But it has a really quite thick, heavy, earthy smell that a lot of people don't like on its own. So in this blend, you get the benefits of the vetiver for that calming and that relaxing, but it's got that balance of all of those other beautiful oils in there as well.
Yeah. Okay. So there, honestly, like Karen and I struggled what to put in this presentation because we were like, we could put so many more oils. We could keep talking about this one and this one, but we obviously don't want to keep you guys here forever. So just know there's so many more oils, and you're going to be drawn to different oils at different times in your life. There are certain days where all I want is like lavender all over me. And there are certain days where I'm like, no, I actually don't want any of that. And I just want my geranium, for example. So I included geranium because I keep saying it's my favorite oil. I probably should pick one favorite oil, but they're all kind of, I have this little compound of favorite oils. But it's the best one for perfume. In terms, Crystal, if you're watching, I know you asked about perfume in an email before. I actually use the Mood Management Kit oils as perfume as well since I got them, because minus the balance, that one's kind of like if picture a cake, the balance is the foundation. And then I put another oil on top of it. And they all smell just amazing. Like the Citrus Bliss smells orangey, and I love that one. I think, Cara, you wear that one as perfume too, don't you?
I actually wear Elevation.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with Elevation, which I could talk about for like half an hour on its own, but I won't.
Yeah. And then the other one I just wanted to touch on really quickly is lemongrass. That's great for energy cleansing. And like in the seminars, for example, and we've worked with 10 people in a day. Like I didn't even know lemongrass was the oil of cleansing until I was just drawn to it, and I was putting all over me, and Cara comes up to me and she's like, cleansing, hey? And I was like, really? Is that why I just want this all over me right now? And
it's trusting your intuition. It's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to go into a little bit of detail in terms of how you can get started with these essential oils if you like. So there's lots of different options. You can start with an organized package that doTERRA sets up for you, or which we'll go into in a second, or you can pay a $35 fee and you can just pick which oils you want. Now, if I'm being honest, that's what I chose at the beginning. When I first started, I just paid $35 and I just picked, a selection of oils. In hindsight, I wholeheartedly regret that because I now want all the other oils. And now I'm just you essentially save a lot more money when you start with an enrollment pack, which we'll go into in a second. But I didn't do that. And now I'm like, great, well, I'm going to just pay a lot more, but it's totally worth it. So let's just talk about some of the kits. First one, Nature's Solution Kit. Cara, you have all the products in here, and I know you love them all. So just introduce this one, please.
So the Nature Solution Kit has all of those first home essentials oils that we spoke about in it. So it's got the digestion, frankincense, the easy air, the lavender lemon, the peppermint. But it's also got a couple of other oils that are in the Home Essentials kit. It's got On Guard as well. So it's got the Ice Blue, which is great for muscular support. So any stiff or sore muscles or joints, it's absolutely incredible. I also use it for any cramps at that time of the month. It's the best thing ever. Oregano, which is really hard-hitting immune support, and tea tree as well, which in Australia we know and love. It's very cleansing and antibacterial. But it's also got your citrus bliss. It's got your lavender peace. It's got Clary Calm, which is, it's been my absolute saviour as a woman for hormonal balance and support. And I could do a whole webinar just on that. Honestly, that one never, ever leaves my handbag. I have a bottle in the bathroom and I have a bottle in my bag. So wherever I am, it's there. Past tense, which is great for head and neck tension and focus as well. The lemongrass that we spoke about, Purify, which again is an energetic cleanser, as well as really good for cleaning the house. Smart and Sassy, which is great for metabolic support, and also Aroma Touch, which is a really relaxing oil as well. It's also got the Ice Blue Rub, so you can see that blue tube there. Now that is sensational. It's basically the Ice Blue, which is the muscle and joint support one, in a cream. So the boys love it. They feel manly when they're using it. They're not using some weird oil. But also, I just think it's amazing. I wore high heels for the first time at this wedding. For the first time in ages, not the first time. And my calves have been aching. And so I've got the Ice Blue Rub out and rubbed that in, and it's just sensational. Correct Dex, which is a really good ointment. So rather than an oil, it's easy to carry for any cuts and stings, bites, anything like that. It's awesome. It's got helichrysum in it, which is a really healing oil. And so it just soothes everything straight away. Fractionated coconut oil, which is a must-have to dilute your oils so that you can pop them on your skin straight away. The Easy Air Vapor Stick, again, so you can rub that straight on the chest, help open the airways for that easy breathing effect. The diffuser, you want a diffuser. I get people saying, oh, do I really need a diffuser? And I'm just like, you'll regret it if you don't. You absolutely want a diffuser, because you just set it and you have the diffuser going in the corner of the room and you're breathing in those oils. So basically it makes little microparticles of the oils and cold steams them out into the air. And so you're breathing them in, you're getting the mood and emotional support. And then depending on what you're choosing, you know, if you can actually put On Guard or Easy Air in the diffuser as well, you're getting immune support as well. It's a really good thing to do. You'll get a box to store your oils. The On Guard toothpaste is incredible. I haven't had any concerns at the dentist since I've been using that toothpaste. So think about the immune support. It's antibacterial, antiviral, all of that in your mouth. So it's really, really good for your teeth and gums. And the hand wash, On Guard hand wash, again, antibacterial without actually damaging everything around you. And the last one is the On Guard beadlets. So you can have these little tiny beads of On Guard that you can pop in your mouth, carry it in your handbag without risking spilling oils for immune support as well. It is such an awesome package. So if you've been listening to us and you're going, oh my God, I'm totally in for this, and this is within your framework, this is the best thing to get if you can.
And the other thing I just want to say is, when I said that there's the $35 joining fee, the reason why you would pay that, because I realized I didn't say that, is it because you get the oils 25% off, which makes a lot more sense if you're going to purchase more than one oil, basically. Yeah. And believe me, I calculated it at the beginning because I'm like a thrifty person. So I was like, I want to see if this actually makes sense. And I was like, yeah, I'm actually going to save a lot of money. But with these enrollment kits, so the kits that we're going to talk about and we have been talking about now, you don't have to pay that $35 fee. It's waived because you're getting a kit. And just keep in mind, because I know there's some of you watching from the US, from Canada. I know even some people from Europe signed up, which is awesome. doTERRA ships to your country, and you'll see in a moment, you actually pick your country. So you're obviously going to pay your local prices, but we just left up the Australian prices for this, because we're both Australian. I'm living in Australia.
You're token Aussie. So this Home Essentials kit is, it's a really awesome value. If you add up just the oils themselves, you pay much more than 330 Australian dollars to get those oils. even at wholesale prices, and then you get a diffuser in there as well. So it's the first 7 oils that we spoke about. So the On Guard, the Digest Zen, the frankincense, easy air, lavender, lemon, and peppermint, plus the other 3 that I mentioned. So the tea tree, the oregano, and the ice blue for the muscles, with a diffuser, so you're ready to go. My tip is actually to add a fractionated coconut oil as well to that. I think it's about $16, so that you get you've got the full package. You've got a carrier oil ready to dilute, and you're ready to go. It's such an awesome kit, and it's called Home Essentials for a reason. It's generally what I recommend to people, just because it's a great starting place, and then you've got everything you need, and you can build on your collection from there. It's also not too many oils, so it's not overwhelming. What I love about it is you can start small, you can have everything that you need, and then as you get to know your oils and build a relationship with them, you can start to then gather others into your collections nice and slowly.
Yeah, and this is the kit that Carita had initially recommended I buy, and now I'm like,
I wish I'd just done it.
I wish I had just done it. And on her point of the diffuser, like, yeah, if you have one at home, obviously you don't need one, but the diffuser is amazing. Like my husband, who's a man's man, like when I was away, again, for a seminar, and I was coming home at really late at night, every night he'd have the diffuser going with a different oil. And I'm like, interesting. I'm glad it's getting its use. So yeah, it's been awesome. Now, this is like kind of a kit that we've put together for you guys, because I was thinking, like, if I could actually start again, and from point zero of starting with doTERRA, this is what I wish I did, because I personally think that it's the best value for a wide variety of oils. So you get all the oils that Carita just mentioned before in the Home Essentials kit, but you get them in smaller bottles, 5 ml bottles, which allows you to become introduced to each of the oils, and then again build that relationship with them. And obviously when you run out of one that you're obsessed with, then you can then purchase a bigger 15 ml bottle down the road. And then you also get the mood management kit, which are the 4 mood management oils that I spoke about, which is the Balance, the Elevation, Lavender Peace, and the Citrus Bliss. And so that's 14 oils, which again, it could seem like a lot from the onset of looking at it. But I will say, after having all these oils, I feel like I don't even have enough of them. Like I cannot wait to order more, because I've used them for so many different things. And then you get the fractionated coconut oil, which is the oil that you would, so you put a little bit of coconut oil in your hand. Well, this is how I do it. I don't know if it's the right way of doing it, but I put a little bit of coconut oil in my hand and a few drops of the essential oil and blend it in, and then put it wherever I want on my body. You obviously have the joining fee that's waived, and then you can add the diffuser. So this is great for people that if you're like, oh, I already have a diffuser. Well, great, you don't have to get one then. Or if you need one, then great, there it is. And it's the best of everything. So there's the prices if you want it with the diffuser or without the diffuser. Anything you want to add about this one, Carita?
No, I think you've said it. It's an awesome pack right there. I love it.
I think it's like, I genuinely think it's the best. Like that's what I would do. Okay, so if you like, doTERRA has these special bonuses. Actually, no, I'm gonna let Carita talk about it. because I know you like really love Manuka. That's why.
I do actually. So doTERRA is super generous, and every few months they give us what they call a 200 point bonus. So because doTERRA is international, they have our dollar values, but we also have a points value, so everything's consistent between different countries. So if you spend 200 points in September, which any of those ones that we've mentioned will qualify you for, this month in September, doTERRA is actually going to give you a free Manuka oil, which has just been released. Now, this is for Australia only. I'd have to look up what the promos are for the States, Canada, and Europe, because the Manuka is actually only available to the Australian and New Zealand markets, so we're pretty lucky right now. And a free Litsia oil. So the Manuka, I've actually got it here because I just love it so much. It is I don't even know how to describe it. It's actually really amazing for the immune system, just like Manuka honey. So it's got really great antibacterial properties and things like that. But I also just find it very clearing. It's a bit like frankincense in that way. It's like it just cuts to the chase. And this is what's real. This is what's here. It's got this slightly peppery kind of smell to it, which I absolutely love. And I've just been really, really enjoying it for the few weeks that I've had it now. And the Litsea oil is a fairly newly released oil as well. It's lovely. It is like a cross between lemongrass and Melissa. Melissa is a very, very rare and precious oil, so it's quite expensive. So Litsea is actually a great sort of substitute for Melissa. Again, it's very cleansing. It's energetically protective. And it's got that kind of spicy aroma to it as well in its own way. Actually, they're both kind of similar in that respect, which I absolutely love. So any of the packs that we've mentioned will qualify for that. Or if you do choose to go the $35 and you go up to 200 points worth of products, you'll get these before the end of September. So it's almost $150 retail value, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I just want to say that if you're watching this on replay, on replay after September, just email me directly for the bonuses of that month, because normally doTERRA has something going on, and I'd rather you know, because again, I like was impatient. When Carita sent me her shop link, I just like went and ordered and like didn't even ask her about anything. And I feel like I missed out on all these cool things that I could have had.
I remember this because I was away. I think I was in Europe when Andra went to sign up, and different time zones and things, and I just didn't even have a chance to communicate with her about the things like the value of actually starting with a pack. Then different bonuses that she could have gotten. And then next thing I know, I get this email from doTERRA saying that you'd signed up. And I was like, why?
Because like, this is why I need balance in my life, because I'm impatient and I just do things. And then I'm like, oh, that was probably not the best idea. Because now I am definitely moving backwards. And some of you, actually, I'm going to say that then. Never mind. Okay, let's move on. Okay. So doTERRA has a loyalty reward program. Now, this is completely optional. You don't have to do this, but it's the best way to continue purchasing oils, because if you're anything like me, when you start using them, you kind of realize, ooh, I want more. And how lovely would it be to get like some free bonus oils? So that's what the LRP oil is about. Carita, do you want to go into like more detail?
Sure. So it's called the Loyalty Rewards Program, and I basically like to call it the Free Oils Program, because that's essentially what you get. So once you start ordering, once you get your starter pack, if you choose to, and you can choose to do this at any time, you can choose to begin the Loyalty Rewards Program, which is basically a monthly ordering program. And for everything that you order, doTERRA rewards you. You'll get set up with a back office, which you can log into, and you go and do your orders, and they get shipped straight to your door. Now, doTERRA rewards you for every order that you do on that loyalty rewards program with a little kitty of points. So it's basically like a frequent flyers program, except you actually get free stuff. It's when you start out, for the first 3 months, you start out getting what we say 10% back in free product. Now, so say, for example, you buy 100 points worth of product, you'll get 10 points back in your little kitty. And that goes up 5% every 3 months. So you go through, you get 15%, 20, 25. And then once you've been doing the Loyalty Rewards program for a year, you get 30% of everything you spend back in points in a little kitty. So for every 100 points that you spend, you'll get 30 points back into a kitty, which is just insane. And I've had that for a very long time now, and I get so much of my stuff is for free. It's just ridiculous. So I use my points for any really high value products. I usually save up my points and go and get those sorts of products. So things like the Melissa, that's really valuable, or the Helichrysum. That's how I do it. So you can also get a free oil each month. So if you spend 125 PV, doTERRA has a product of the month every month, and that changes every month. It's only once you're on the loyalty rewards program, not for new orders. So if you choose to go on the loyalty rewards later, then you'll be eligible for the free product of the month, as well as any 200-point bonuses and stuff like that, which is so, so cool.
I love getting the free oil. Like I set up my LRP recently, my loyalty rewards program, and I got a free oil last month or this month, and I was like, it's just like a nice little gift.
Yeah, it's so cool. And sometimes it's like oils that maybe you wouldn't think to buy, so you get them in your collection, you can try them out and things like that. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
The cool thing about it is that there is no minimum to buy. So you can go in, like, I know if I'm going traveling, I don't want to buy so much oil, so I'll just order, like, I'll order 1 lemon oil and get that shipped to my house, and I'll just pick it up when I get home or something. And basically what that does is it keeps my program active. I won't earn extra points and stuff like that. I won't get the free product just by ordering 1 lemon oil. It's about $15, I think. But it keeps my account active, and it keeps the points that I've already earned, it keeps them stored in my little kitty. So you can go, you know what, I'm just going to order one thing. That's fine. You can do that. Or you can go, I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to order everything. I suggest building up slowly, personally. But there's no minimum to buy. So you can order just 1 product each month if you choose to, which is really cool. And you can actually cancel it at any time just by calling member services and just saying, I want to cancel my LRP, my loyalty rewards program. You just want to make sure that if you do that, you speak to either Andra or myself beforehand so that we can talk you through using up any points that you've accrued, because you don't want to lose them. So, yeah. The other cool thing about it, actually, I'm sorry, I'm just going to think while I'm talking, is as you would have seen in the Nature's Solution Kit doTERRA, that's just a small sample of some of the other household products that doTERRA has. So what I actually do with my LRP is I actually buy all the products that I would buy from the supermarket or from the chemist or something like that. I buy them through doTERRA. So I buy my facial care system, I buy my shampoo and conditioner, I buy my laundry liquid, I buy my hand soap, toothpaste, all of that stuff that I would be buying anyway and spending money on anyway. So it's actually not extra money that I have to spend. It's money for things that I buy anyway in my home. It means I don't walk down the stinky aisles at the supermarket, and then I get free points for oils that I want. Like, I just think it's a no-brainer for me.
I can't wait. Like, my second love next to personal development is beauty. And I used some of your skincare stuff from doTERRA when we were together, and I love it. And I cannot wait to buy my own kit. I'm just waiting to finish up what I have at home. But yeah,
perfect.
It's exciting. Okay, so we're just going to talk you through how you guys can order, just because sometimes the website can be a little bit finicky, as I found out recently. So there's a link down below, like where you're watching live, you'll see a button that says click here to purchase your oil. So you just click that, and that opens up to my shop, which should have a photo of me, but it wasn't uploading. So you're going to have to deal with lavender.
You love lavender, it's okay.
I know. I was like, yeah, it's all good. So you just want to hit the join and save. And then what you're going to see is this little box that pops up. So you're going to choose your country. So it doesn't matter where you live in the world, your products will hopefully be available there, but it's definitely Canada, US, all the major countries are there. And you're just going to select the first box, which just says that you want a local order from your local warehouse, and you want to pay in your local currency as well. And then you're going to hit the first button, which is wholesale prices. That should be automatically selected. And you're just going to fill in your information as you would for anything else. Now, you want to put in the Enroller ID if it's not in there. Normally, it's automatically put in there when you click on the link to my shop. However, there's been a glitch. So I just wanted to let you know that if you don't have that number that's automatically put in there, it's on this live page that you're watching right below that box that says click here to purchase your own oils. My Enroller ID is there, and obviously it's up there on the screen as well. And you just want to click verify ID, and my name will come up. And then you play. This is the exciting part. So you could pick any of the kits that we have mentioned today. So the Nature Solutions kit is over here. You have your Home Essentials kit. And then obviously you have other options as well. So you can look through them and see if there's something that's more appealing to you. Personally, I like, after seriously combing through all the options, I definitely think that these two are the best to start with. Other than the other one that I mentioned, which is the Little Bit of Everything kit. Now that one's a do-it-yourself kit. So you'll have to scroll using this side button to get the, what's it called? The Essentials kit, Carita, is that right?
The Essential Collection.
The Essential Collection. So that's the home essential oils, but in just a smaller size. And then you would go down to this little bar, and you would type in the Mood Management Kit, and that would add it to your cart. You would type in the diffuser, and that will add it to your cart. And then you would type in the fractionated coconut oil, and that will add it to your cart. And then you'll also see that the free oils of the month will also be automatically added to your cart, as long as you have that 200 points worth of product, which you will if you do anything, and if you do any of the options that we're talking about here. So that's how you do that. And that's it. That's all. Anything you want to add, Carita?
No, I think you've covered it beautifully. It's, you know, if you have any questions or anything, if you just want to confirm what would be the best for you, you know, you've got Andra's email there. I would say just reach out and ask. You go, oh, what's the difference between these, or whatever it is. Reach out and ask those questions, because what's important for us is making sure that you're getting what's best for you to start with. And that's what we want to see. You know, we've made our recommendations based on our own personal knowledge, but we want to make sure that your best needs are getting met as well. So please ask.
Yeah, just reach out. The other thing that we want to say is, if you guys have been watching this presentation, which I was supposed to mention at the beginning, but I totally forgot. If you guys have been watching this presentation and you're thinking, oh my God, you know, what they're doing is pretty cool, and I think that I would love to do something like this, and I would love to run a business around essential oils, and I would love to hang out with Andra and Carita and like talk on the phone every week and have some love times, then just reach out to us as well, because this is a multi-level marketing business. So you can absolutely join our team and you can be a part of our family. And when I say multi-level marketing, I know that's kind of like a dirty word. It has been in the past, but the way that doTERRA has it set up, essentially what that means for me, multi-level marketing, is that like, as I grow my business, I get to have a business with a friend, aka Carita, and instead of buying my products from the local grocery store and my money going to the grocery store, it goes partially to Carita, which I love so much more. So I'm going to do another workshop around the business side of things, if that's something that some of you would be intrigued about. Oh no, I've just frozen. There we go. If there's something that some of you would be intrigued about, I'll send a link around. It's going to be sometime in October, so we'll talk way more about that. But I just wanted to plant that seed for some of you, because you might be like, I would love to be a part of this, and you can.
And just on that, what I would say is, you know, there's different ways that you can engage with this as a business. So if you're kind of going, oh, well, full business, I don't know about that. But, you know, doing this as a full business is totally an option, but you can also actually just go, do you know what? I'm going to love these, and I'm going to have family and friends who I know are going to love these. That's fine. Or you go, oh, you know what? I'd like to just create a little bit of extra income. I actually really enjoy my job, and, you know, but it'd be great to have a bit of extra income on the side, or get my oils for free, or whatever it is like that. You can totally do that too. So yeah, we'll talk about all those options when we do the next call.
Cool. So that's it, guys. Do you have any questions? One question that I got yesterday, actually, let me say this first. For those of you that are watching live, if you do have questions and you want to just type them into the chat box, I know there's a little bit of a lag, but we'll see them and we'll answer them. But one question that came through last night from one of the girls who signed up for the workshop, but she can't be here live, which you kind of partly answered, but she said she has really bad PMS, and she was like, it's like she heard that essential oils can help. And I personally haven't used the oils for PMS specifically, so I thought, I know you have. So do you want to answer that?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Changed my life, these oils, as like, honestly, just completely changed my life. So for me, I've always struggled a lot with hormonal challenges, and you know, improving food, exercise, all of that stuff definitely helped. And I got to a point in my life where I was just like, this is just how it's going to be. It's just going to be challenging. I'm going to have physical issues. I'm going to have emotional issues every month leading up to my cycle. Like, that's just how it's going to be. And I mentioned the Calm before. So that little bottle of absolute goodness has rocked my world as a woman. It is, yeah, it's a hormonal balancing blend. So it's actually called the monthly blend for women. And for me, what it does, I've actually been a bit slack this month, and I haven't been using it as regularly. And I've noticed that leading up to that time, I'm at the moment starting to get a little bit. So I'm definitely pulling the Calm out and dosing myself in it, because emotionally it calms me down. It makes me just take a breath and go, it's okay. I don't have to chop anyone's head off.
I get that one. It's going to be on my list now.
Yeah, but what I actually do, and when I first started using it, was every single day I would use it throughout my cycle, not just when I started to notice my symptom, on my lower abdomen, and then leading up towards that time of the month, maybe as a perfume on my wrists, and over my heart is just so beautiful. It's just like this explosion of heart-opening goodness for me. And that's actually what's changed it, the regularity of the use. So using it every single day for probably about 6 months for me. And now I use it, say, 4 to 5 times a week, I would say, still, just because I still love it. But it's actually balanced everything out. If I'm using it regularly, symptoms are almost non-existent. And I use that in combination with the Ice Blue or the Ice Blue Rub as well, to manage any physical pain that I might get at that time of the month. So there's a whole lot of other things you can actually do as far as PMS wise, but for me, that's a really, really simple solution.
Okay, cool. Well, she will watch this and she will get her answer. Okay, cool. It doesn't seem like anybody's put in any questions or anything like that. So I think that's it.
Oh!
We're done. Co-hosted workshop ever. I like love co-hosting workshops so much better than doing them alone. It's just so nice to have somebody to go back and forth with, rather than talking to yourself for an hour straight.
Yeah, it's so nice. And it's great to be sitting here and hearing your voice on the other end of the line as well, and just being like, oh, it's Andra. And that, hey, I normally live in Perth, but I'm in Sydney and we can do this. And, you know, yeah.
Oh, that's the beauty of it. And I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. That's why I love that we're doing this together, because it just, like, being someone who's run my own business by myself for 2 years now, having somebody to share, you know, thoughts and feelings and questions with, it's just, honestly, it's like a breath of fresh air. It feels so, so nice.
Yeah. Awesome. It's fantastic for me too.
Well, thank you to everyone who's tuned in and who's watched. Again, if you guys have any questions, just shoot me an email, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Melbourne, so hopefully that will last.
You too. Go Sydney.
Bye.